What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about 8 bad art habits that you must avoid. You're probably going to feel called out by some of the points in this video, and that's totally fine. Just take it as a sign to change. And if you don't feel called out by anything in this video, then congratulations, you've won art. First off, let's start with an honorable mention bad habit, which is watching YouTube videos about art instead of actually doing art. I'm looking at you. Come on man, it's time to lock in. But you know what, this time I'll give you a pass. At least you're not watching Cooley. Bad art habits that you must avoid. Number 1, scrapping your unfinished paintings. Now, paintings are like relationships. You go through your ups and your downs, you run into issues along the way, and you try to resolve those issues, and sometimes the issues are so great that you cannot resolve them, so you have to move on. And you know what? That's fine. It's totally fine to let go of paintings that just aren't working out. But here's the thing. If you find yourself scrapping unfinished work more than 50% of the time, we have a bigger problem here. You might need to see therapy, brother. You might have commitment issues. Now, with any project, and I'm not talking about just art, but it takes a lot of discipline to start something and see it through all the way to the end. It takes discipline to finish. So in a way, if you're able to finish the pieces that you actually started working on, it's training your discipline and your mental fortitude. Doing the opposite and abandoning most of your drawings halfway through is essentially telling your brain, hey, it's okay to not finish anything. We don't need to be disciplined. We can stop whenever we want and start up a new thing whenever we want. It just leads you to never finishing anything. So look back at your work over the last few months, okay? If you see more than 50% of your pieces are left unfinished and abandoned, it's time to work on that, okay? You have a goal now. Your goal is now to finish. Just finish. I want to see you finish. In fact, if this applies to you, then I challenge you personally to finish your next painting. And if you don't manage to finish your next painting, I want you to hear my voice in your head calling you a little bit. Bad art habit to avoid. Number 2, drawing flat on a table. I know, very counterintuitive, because in school we grew up basically writing flat on a table. But when it comes to drawing, which is something that takes hours and hours at a time, it is very important that you have good posture and good form. If you're leaning over a table, your neck will be straining, your back will be curved, your spine will look like a shrimp, and your entire upper body will be under quite a bit of stress. And long term, if you keep doing that hours and hours at a time, it's going to lead to some serious issues. By the time you turn 25, you'll be moving like an old man. Another thing this could damage is your eyesight, because you'll be way too close to your drawing surface. If you're hunching over a flat table and drawing on that table surface, your arm will not be able to extend to its full potential. So that means you're looking at something very close as opposed to at a comfortable distance. Again, long term, this is going to destroy you. You might think art is a very chill endeavor, but in reality, it's like an extreme sport. Because of the sheer number of hours that you put in, these tiny habits can really magnify over time. Another reason to avoid this is when you put a sheet on a flat table surface, you're technically looking at it from a distorted angle. So chances are, when you take that sheet off the table, your drawing that you just made is going to look a little weird, a little distorted, a little wonky, and you're not going to know why. You're going to blame yourself. You're going to be like, oh my god, I'm such a bad artist, but it was not you. It was the table. A good fix for this that I've adopted since high school is to have a drawing board or some kind of surface that is basically parallel to your face. Look at me right now, okay? When I draw on this big tablet, look at the surface of this tablet versus the surface of my face. They are parallel. I never want my tablet to be flat on the table while I'm looking at it from this angle. So having a drawing board or even like a hardcover sketchbook and placing your sheets at an angle that is parallel to your face is going to do wonders for your posture, for your eyesight, as well as for your ability to see your drawing accurately. Alright guys, stop hunching over the table. You are not a shrimp. Terrible art habit number 3 that you must avoid is abusing the undo button. This I see way too often. Many times an artist would just undo a single line like 10 times because they didn't get it perfect. Every brushstroke, they put it down, they undo it, put it down, undo it, put it down, undo it. After like 13 tries, they move on to the next brushstroke. It's ridiculous. If you just extrapolate this process of undoing 10 times for every brushstroke over the entire painting process, you have wasted hours making inconsequential minor adjustments to things that probably won't even show up in the final painting. You gotta learn to live with the marks that you make. No mark you make will ever be quote unquote perfect, and perfect shouldn't be what you're striving for. Here's my advice. Instead of spending all of your time correcting yourself and taking yourself out of flow state, try to move your way through the painting process like a figure skater, just twirling and dancing. If this is genuinely a really bad habit for you, then you could even set some limits for yourself. Artificial artificially limit the amount of undos that you can use for every single part of the painting. Try this out, guys. I promise you'll be fine. You could always change things up and polish things during the final detailing phase, okay? It's not the end of the world. Give your undo button a break, man. That thing is beaten and battered and worn and Actually, another really good way to practice living with your mistakes is actually just drawing with ink on paper. You can't erase, you can't undo. Terrible art habit number 4 is getting comfortable with your bad grip. I always stress the importance of having a good grip on your pencil. 3 points of contact, not too much pressure, free movement from your fingers, and you should not experience any wrist strain or arm pain. Now, I completely understand that sometimes these bad habits get established very early on while we're young and nobody really corrects us, so unfortunately it's now up to you to correct yourself. Now, you might be a young niece or nephew right now with a horrendous grip, but you might think to yourself, this works for me, so I'm not going to correct it. The real problem is not whether or not you're comfortable with it. Of course you're comfortable with it. You grew up with this grip. The real problem is all the health issues it's going to cause down the line. Look, you choke your pencil right now. Yes, your pencil is the one feeling the pain. But if you keep choking your pencil now, guess what? Later down the line, your pencil and you're both feeling the pain. Correct that grip before it's too late, okay? Even if it means you feel like you're losing a bit of control over your pencil tip, I promise you it'll be worth it. Bad art habit number 5 that you must avoid is zooming in too much. Zooming in and of itself is not a crime, but the problem comes when you start overdoing it and it causes tunnel vision. If you zoom in too much and stay zoomed in consistently, you lose sight of the bigger picture. When you're putting down a new color, for example, if you're way too zoomed in and too focused on the details, you will not be able to gauge whether or not that color is actually harmonious with the rest of your painting. A good analogy for this is if you're looking for a bathroom and you see a piece of poo on the ground. Now, if you're way too zoomed in, all you see is the poo, so you assume that this is the place to poo. Whereas if you allow yourself to zoom out and take in the entire surroundings, you realize that you are at a children's playground and this is in fact not the place to poo. Another problem with this is if you zoom in way too much, it makes you focus on the details that other people probably will never even see. Especially if you're putting your work on social media these days, no one's ever going to zoom in 300x and try to look for the tiny little details in the eyebrows. So by doing that, you're really just hyperfixating and stressing yourself out. You're just doing the artist's version of cortisol maxing at that point. Bad art habit number 6, not observing your subject. This one's very easy to miss because by observation, I mean to actually look and study and learn from your subject. When you're studying from a reference, you should not just turn your brain off and try to paste that reference onto your canvas. In the process of observing a reference, you should always feel like you're learning something new about it, okay? It's like you and your reference photo are on a date and you're trying to learn as much as you can about that subject. If you're drawing a person, you're trying to look at all the measurements. If you're drawing an environment, you're trying to break down the perspective. You should feel like you're getting something new and not just going through the motions of using a reference for a drawing. Here's the thing, a lot of times people will say stuff like, I always draw from a reference, but I don't feel like I'm actually improving. Even though that's what every pro artist tells me to do, which is to draw from references and study from references. I can promise you 10 times out of 10, the key problem there is lack of observation. If your brain is turned off, nothing's getting in, then obviously you cannot improve. Try to break things down, look for the big shapes, look for relationships between different elements on that subject. Try to understand your subject instead of just copy and pasting it. Treat that reference as a date, okay? You guys are building a deeper relationship together. Bad art habit number 7, adding detail immediately. Now, I completely understand this one because when I was younger, I did this all the time. It can be very tempting, the moment you start a piece to start adding in all the very intricate details to make a piece look more polished and more finished, but this can and will derail your entire process. I will say for, at least half of my painting process, my painting doesn't really look like anything. No details, no polish. I'm just working to establish the big shapes and the foundations. A good way to remember this is you always want to go from big to small in every aspect of your painting. Start with the big overall shape. Start with the flat colors. Once you've established a solid large base, then you can start working on the medium sized elements, and after that you can start working on the tiny elements. But going from tiny backwards never works. Never works. It's like the poop analogy I made earlier, okay? Take in the big picture. Understand the context. Bad art habit number 8, the worst of them all. having an ego. I've said this before, I will say it again. Ego will ruin your progress as an artist because it has ruined mine. For many years in high school, I was very stagnant because I thought I was good. I thought I didn't need to learn anything new from other artists. I didn't need to look up to anybody. I genuinely thought I was the GOAT, but I was in fact not the GOAT. I was just a generic mammal. I was trash, lower than trash. I was like gum stuck on the bottom of a table. Never, never, never assume that you always know best. Be willing and open to take feedback on your art. Be willing and open to learn from other artists. You should always be comfortable with the fact that you do not know everything and you're always going to be learning. That's why it's an art journey. It's long. You're always going to be learning. It's not a stroll, right? That's why we don't call it an art stroll. A more humble approach to art is what's going to guarantee your growth as an artist. Anyways, guys, so those are 8 bad art habits that I want you to avoid at all costs. Tell me now, do you feel called out? And if so, let me know which point got to you the most. I would be very curious to know. But the good news is, of course, all of these things can be changed. If you're watching this video right now, that means you have a tenacity for knowledge and learning. You're somebody who has a wrinkly brain who is ready to grow. So even if you checked every box on this list, you still have a lot to be optimistic about. Subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more art-related content, and check out my Patreon for monthly tutorials. In this month's tutorial, I give you guys a breakdown of how to use layers and structure your files for your digital painting. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please go check it out after this video, which is now. I'm going to end this video now. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, yeah, 911, yep. They're still here. They're still in my house. Yeah, I ended the video and they're still here. They're just staring at me like a description. Well, very beautiful, incredibly beautiful. Probably the most beautiful person I've ever seen.